Welcome everybody, I'm Leonardo Popera, a full-time landscape photographer, and today I want to take you with me on a small journey through this magnificent winter forest. We're going to see together how to create compelling images in an environment which is almost completely whiting out. We're going to see which ones are the best settings and which ones are the best techniques. Last but not least, we're going to see how different kinds of light are going to affect your pictures. And is it better a sunny day or maybe a foggy day like this one? Which ones is better, a harsh light or a soft light? Well, we're going to see together all of these and much more in this video, so make sure to watch all of it. And okay, so it's time to go make some good pictures. Okay, follow me. Okay, so one of the first things that you want to do when shooting outside, not just here but pretty much in every landscape, is to think about your composition. Okay, even before thinking about settings and techniques, all you have to do is find a nice composition. Then you can think about settings and all the rest. Okay, so for the moment all I'm doing is scouting and looking for great background, middle grounds, and foregrounds. I noticed these snow-covered trees and they're quite beautiful to see, okay, so I thought, well, maybe I can take some nice shot here. It turned out that actually it's nothing that I like, okay, because you are going from a plain white foreground, well, not foreground, but let's say in the lower part of the frame, to a completely messy upper part, okay, of your shot, and that's make no balance, okay. So it's just, and there's not like some kind of nice geometry in the trees or some high catching stuff. It's just confusing, messy trees covered in snow, okay, which I know that sound probably cynical, but makes a whole difference, okay, when you're shooting and trying to compose a great photo. So think, okay, if that shot is going to catch the eye of who's seen that shot. Okay, so let's talk a bit about how you should set your camera in a situation like this one, okay? So let's start a bit from the basics. In landscape photography, generally, we always suggest to use the lowest possible ISO, okay, so generally 100 ISO, a pretty much a close exposure, okay, so let's say from f8 till f16, okay, not more than that, otherwise you get diffractions. And well, the shutter speed, you can use the shutter speed that you want unless there's some specific movement that you want to capture, okay. In a situation like this one, there's nothing that it's moving, okay, so you're free to use the exposure time that you want. Someone once said that the most complicated thing is to keep it simple. He was completely right, because one of the most difficult things here is to find something that catches the eye without too many things going on in the frame, okay? So, let me show you a quick example. Okay, this is going probably to take away a little bit of the romance of, well, the mood, because I'm just walking along the road. It's not a pretty landscape, but sometimes you can find treasures along the road. For example, here, as I was saying earlier, I was looking for something simple. Here I found this, well, quite simple scene. Okay, I'm going to show you the perspective from my other camera. And, well, like I said, it's just simple tree, but if you take out these horrible, poles, and you just focus on the diagonal line with the tree, okay, and the whiteout landscape, it's going to, let's say, transmit some feeling of loneliness or, cold. this was sunset. Nothing special, nothing crazy. It's a nice condition to witness, but not a nice one to photograph. Anyway, if you want to shoot it, there are two options, okay? The first one is the one that you're seeing right now, okay? So a wider perspective using the leading line of these trees, these frozen trees that I have in my back, that leads the eye to the red line on the horizon and of course to the mountains in the background. Anyway, this is not my favorite one, okay, in a condition like this. I'll show you which one I would go for. Let me arrive to the camera. So if I zoom in, okay, I can focus on, well, let's say that the red line on the horizon takes a lot more importance here. And also, of course, the sea of fog that is creating down there in the valley. So you are basically giving more importance to the couple of more interesting things that are, well, in the landscape. So that's what I would go for probably. Sunset is gone by, well, let's say at least 20 minutes, and it's getting dark out here. And well, I'm quite satisfied, but I want to return here tomorrow, and forecasts are saying that it's going to be sunny, to see how the light, a completely different light, is going to impact my pictures, okay? And I'm going to return in the exact same spot that I shot today, and we're going to see how they are with a completely different light. Morning everyone, guys. I'm still quite sleepy, but this really wakes you up. It's just unbelievable. I got all these pastel tones over the horizon. Well, with that wide angle lens probably you don't see them very well, but it's just amazing. I got the whole snowy mountains up down in the background, as you can see, lit up in the first morning light, and that's incredible. On the other side I get the Alpes, okay, that you see there, and that also take the first light of the day. All these snowy trees here along the road. I'm truly happy. So let's see how this plays out, okay? As I was saying, good morning, fellas. Now I'm a little bit more awake, and well, I just wrapped up for, well, let's say the real sunrise, which is when the sun is actually right above the horizon. Conditions were great, as I was telling you like a few seconds ago. I got all these red hues and also a bit of the Venus belt, which is when the sky turns with some strong magenta tones, okay, on the opposite side of when the sun is coming up, where the sun is coming up, okay? Right now I'm just taking a walk, okay? Some snow already melted and it's melting quite fast. So, okay, let's look for some nice intimate scenes, okay, in the woods. I may have found something. I don't know how to arrive there, but well, I'll create my path. I haven't really got what I had in mind, and I'll tell you why. First thing, because I was shooting from down below. Okay, one of the rules that we haven't talked about yet when shooting in the woods is to stand at the right height. So if I'm shooting trees, generally I want to stand at the same level as the tree. Okay, not like here where I was going up and the hills, of course, was still going up too. Okay, so I couldn't, well, let's say, use the vertical lines of the trees. And well, second reason is because the light is pretty much everywhere at the moment, so not really quite what I wanted. I was just passing by and I decided to stop for a moment here, okay, which is basically the same spot that we visited yesterday. so that I can show you the difference between shooting on a clear day versus shooting on a foggy day. Okay, so can you see the difference? Can you spot it? It's quite straightforward. Okay, you just have all that contrast in the background and the light is harsh. Okay, the sun hasn't rose yet here, okay, in this specific point. Everything is still in the shadow, but still you get a lot of directing light, okay, from the background, from, well, actually behind you. So even if there's no sunlight yet, okay, so contrast is quite acceptable if you ask me, you still get a lot of it, okay, a lot more than yesterday at least, okay. So, and for this kind of intimate scenes, I rather go for an intimate, soft mood, okay, not a strong, contrasty one. Okay, this is like one of those scenes that I want to see all of it, okay, not just part. So, well, I'd rather shoot it yesterday than today, okay. Okay, first of all, let me tell you guys that this might not be everyone's cup of tea, because it's quite a particular shot. Okay, many of you will say that I'm shooting nothing right now, because actually I'm basically shooting nothing, okay? But I'm seeing these snow textures here. I don't know if you see that from the video, but there are a lot of leading lines, okay? And of course the attention is going to fall on those upper snow hills with the light, with the sunlight, okay? So it's a nice place of shadows and lights, and I think it's worth a shot for sure. Okay, so I finally made it to the ridge. The most common thoughts in landscape photography, but probably in all kinds of photography, is that you have to shoot at the golden hour. You can take good photos out of those time ranges. That's not true, please. You can always find something to shoot. You just have to scout the place and find something that can, you know, capture the eye. For example, here, okay, yeah, I spent like the last couple of hours shooting just lines, okay, lines in the snow. Yeah, I'm that crazy. Anyway, you see these line, okay, that cross like the hill. It's like crossing the hill and creating these nice curves, okay. I'll show you from camera a closer perspective. Guess what? We are here again for the third time, as I'm going to show you how this place changes with different light conditions. Of course, for this time I've chosen direct sunlight, okay? And as you can see, the sunlight adds a lot of more contrast into the scene. Because of these specific kind of landscapes, it's quite messy already, okay? Because you don't have clean lines or you know, perfect geometries. It's already quite confusing. So if you add to this scene more contrast, okay, with the light, with the direct sunlight, well, I don't think it's going to end up well, okay, because you're going to have too much going on in your frame and it's not going to be clear which one is your real subject. And that's why I prefer to shoot these kind of landscapes with fog or cloud conditions, as I already told you earlier. Alright fellas, time to say goodbye. Probably most of you will say thankfully. Truth is that I really hope you enjoyed the video and you found something useful on how to shoot these kind of landscapes, because this is not something that you arrive and place the tripod and just shoot, okay? It's something that you have to think about what you want to shoot, which one is your subject, and which ones are the right conditions that you want, okay, for that subject, which is not easy at all. So probably you'll have to scout the location as much as you possibly can, and well, with different weather conditions, so that you know which ones are the best. And that's it, okay? So enjoy these kind of landscapes while you are there, and well, shoot as much as you can. Please, if you like the video, subscribe to my channel, as there will be many more in the future. And goodbye for now, fellas.